Boys used to be brought up on farms. If you noticed, when men stopped learning about animal husbandry, the divorce rate went up. After 50 years of feminism, men are waking up. They feel burned by this new modern woman who used men's rationalism, integrity, emotions, and trust against them. Men want to get their lives under control. It's all about economics, the economics of love. Men are very good at being objective, rational, analytical. Men aren't very good at emotions, passions, and hidden agendas. On the farm, boys know the difference between a cow, a pig, and a chicken. You don't treat a cow like a chicken, or you fail. You need to know your animals. In the city, the only animal allowed in is humans. Men want to know the true nature of this new animal in their midst, the modern woman. Once their predictable behaviors can be objectively discerned, men can deal with them. We are a mind culture. We think the mind rules everything. Look at our incredible civilization. At a recent men's rights convention, a magazine inserted a female reporter to interview the men. Despite the men's confidence in understanding female nature, she merely had to make them feel like they were going to get laid, and they were putty in her hands. Emotions control the mind, not the other way around. Use emotions to undermine the mind, to shut off the rational mind's control, and the power of penetration, passion, and pussy rule. It's not that she loves you, it's that she knows how to use a man's own love against him. Third wave feminism wants to demonize all men as abusers and rapists, an abstraction. Feminism seemed so rational 50 years ago. Equality sounded reasonable. After Hitler, the Great Depression, the Civil Rights Movement, and hope for a better future, women's liberation fit right in. But that rationalism is breaking down as feminism evolves socially. Rationalism doesn't work on men anymore. Men caught on to what women were doing and won't have their identity framed by feminists' projection onto them as abusers and rapists, shamed for their genitals and the color of their skin. Men now have a handle on feminism's true hidden agenda. The defeat of feminist rationalism is irrelevant to most women. Every woman knows men's Achilles heel, the intensity of his love. Men love intensely. Women find that handy. Then she can be suggestive, ask reasonable things, offer him what he wants, his joy used against him, for her agenda. His own joy becomes his own enemy, blinding him, turning off his mind, his self-control, undermining his self-respect, lowering his borders and boundaries, becoming vulnerable, an unwitting victim of her systemic injustice. It is about the economics of love. harvesting all of a man's emotional energy in service to another, usually a woman, but religion was quite handy at it as well. Native Americans used to kill buffalo. They would use every part of the animal, from meat for food, bones for tools, and hides for clothing and teepees. They used the whole animal, the energy locked in the matter of its body. A buffalo was energy in material form, much like oil is material energy that we know how to use to make a car move, or an atom to create the power of the sun for electricity generation and national defense. Love is part of men's energy. Emotions are energy. Economics, at its heart, is about harnessing the environment's energy for human life. Civilization organizes men's energy for authority's purposes, like a peasant produces wealth for a king, and employees produce profit for business. In the army, soldiers' training involves not just his body and mind, but also his aggressive emotions to attack, to kill, and also to leave no man behind, to achieve goals for politicians. Women are specialists in harvesting men's love energies for her own purposes. The male animal loves with such intensity, more so than a woman. That's a lot of energy to harness, to train, to domesticate in service to her. Women are experts at animal husbandry of males and her children. Men's love is a many-faceted emotion. It is first conditioned by the love for his mother, who skillfully withholds her approval, her validation of the child, if his behaviors are not appropriate. Women teachers represent institutional authority and power, molding appropriate behaviors to class norms, conditioning for adult institutions later in manhood. School as seeking approval. It's all about husbanding energies as resources, in this case using the whole animal, a man. His emotions are critical to organize men's behaviors for authority's purposes. Men have an abundance of emotional energies to harness. There is no scarcity. Love has been critical in the social conditioning of men since the 1960s. It is part of positivism, which is used by business, self-help gurus, psychology and marketing, and the spiritual industry. Middle-class people have to create who they are, their identity, through education and jobs, prosperity. You can have it all. Consume, abundance. It's all about your attitude. Be positive. No one likes a negative person. Smile. Be nice. Don't hurt anyone. Just like your mother, teacher, and church told you since you were a child. Love is a part of this emotional conditioning, an expectation, an obligation for men to do so intentionally, through choice. Then they cannot be blamed and gain social approval. Women are in the habit of saying, Women are love. Feminism says women are victims of men. Men, to be good, must give women preferential treatment, called equality. Women's identity is love, like their mother's. Who can argue against a mother's love? It's emotional. The love emotion escapes rational analysis. It can only be accepted, not challenged. That would be negative, proving the man is a beast, an abuser, masculine. Conformity to love has become a systemic obligation and expectation for men. It is not rational, which is so masculine, analytical, critical. It is joy that men can have if they conform. Men can be happy. Women will give them love if they behave. Men learn to fear the loss of love. It hurts, and they will be sad, but can't be mad. That's not allowed. Women control men's love. Men's feelings and emotions control men's minds, but don't tell them that. Men are proud of their rational minds to see reality, truth, and deception. They are convinced the mind controls emotion. Women count on men believing this. Love is now a dominant religion in Western society. Rationalism is men's religion, but men are susceptible to love as well. Even the church conforms to love. For 2,000 years, God was an abusive, negative, patriarchal father who always said no. You were born a sinner and automatically damned unless God was in a good mood that day, which was rare, unless you accepted your degradation as your identity. Then in the 1960s, people left the church. Suddenly, God became love, positive. God loves you. Don't go away. God is love. God is positive, accepting, like a mother. God became powerless, like a victim, with love to offer in return, baiting men's natural love. Come back to church. God wouldn't hurt a flea. How can you argue against love? Men are only guilty if they don't give their money to victims. Love is unconditional, like God's love, and gives and never says no. Be like God, God in humans, because humans love, therefore they are God. If you are God, then you must love, and give unconditionally, uncritically. You have an obligation, an expectation. You are love. And love is unconditional, not critical, but sharing and caring and giving without thought, without rational analysis of what's really going on. And if someone gets critical, analytical, that's negative, abusive. As soon as the critic is told, God loves you, what can they do? The critic goes mind numb and goes back to sleep. Whomever controls the definition of love controls the community of love. Emotion wins. There is really no difference between religion and secular spirituality now. New Age spirituality is all about love too. Women are more spiritual than men, women say. Women are love. God does not have a specific consciousness, like of old, like a man having will. God is just love and emotion, now called Source, the Universe, Spirit. Give out your intentions, and the universe will love you back. It's all good. It's all joy. It's your identity. Create your identity. You are middle class after all. Love is unconditional. Love is spirituality, positive. You don't need a God to do that. It's your responsibility to always say yes. Society demands that men love unconditionally, as if it is against men's nature. Women are love, men are told. The masculine is demonic. The feminine will train men to be the divine masculine, trained in love. But in matter of fact, men do love unconditionally, naturally, with intensity, an energy that overwhelms all their senses. No one ever talks about that. Men are abusive, negative, rapists, aggressive. Men don't love, they are told. Conform. Men did. Women say, why don't today's men want to commit? Men say they would, if they could find a woman who would keep a commitment. But, women are love, and emotion. God is love, and so are women. Atheism is rational. Atheism is growing among men. Men love intensely, unconditionally, because they love women. It's natural. Every woman knows that a woman never loves without an agenda. Love is strategic to achieve her goals. Do women really love if love is unconditional, as women define it for men? Many men cannot accept women only love with an agenda. The words do not connect to their emotional meaning. Women only love with an agenda? That's conditional. The rational mind conflicts with the umbilical cord of their emotions. Every woman knows men are so easy. They can use a man's own love to control him, through sex, love, and the little boy in him. Putty in her own hands. This is a painful truth to men. Men are the ones who love unconditionally, not women. Men are love, impregnate women, who make babies, for women to love unconditionally, her children. Women used to be dependent on men's love. To be a mother, the same power and status as her own mother, now requires just a squirt before maternity leave. Controlling men's energy is critical to women's life strategies. Feminism protests. Women can create their own identity, not subject to nature. To be authentic, she only has to love herself. Outside, everything wants to control and abuse her. She doesn't need a man to save her. She can do it herself, thank you very much. Feminism is the old dynamic of rescuing the victim from the persecutor, only to have the victim turn around and persecute the rescuer. Infiltrating men's spaces, she rescues herself. Men said, yes, we will save women from sexism, because it is rational. Women are so happy men fell for it. Yet every woman feels the urge to create life after the age of 30, the biological clock, to attain mother status among women, despite career ambitions. Mother identity is secondary. Men are so easy anyways. She can harvest his love energies any time she wants. There is no scarcity, but abundance of men who have accepted their love conditioning by society, their hunger for love, sex, and to fill the emotional void separated from his mother. A woman becomes love when she becomes a mother. Women are love. No, women become love from the intensity of love from a man, harnessed for her purposes. Western culture is based upon 2,000 years of Christian conditioning. Most religions stress peace, compassion, and nonviolence. It is only Christianity that demands love. Civilization is about controlling men's energies, which includes his passion. A sociopath feels no emotion. They can be dangerous, but a passionate man can be just as dangerous, if not more. To women's disappointment, Jesus was a man. Jesus' primary love message was not directed at women, but at men's abused love. Jesus was masculine, a warrior heart who faced death, a warrior who did not conform to his social conditioning, but was independent, free. Jesus' message was for men to understand the emotions of love within them, of how it had been corrupted, controlled, used by women, institutions, and religion. Jesus was about the common man taking back his power by seeing how men's love was enslaved to serve others. Any atheist can recognize this rationally. Men are warriors. Men are free. Men are love. The intensity of energy, emotions, passion within him, which control his mind and being, despite his rational mind. Men are love. Orientation to God is dependent on one's orientation to the true masculine, warrior, and love. The story of King David, the Messiah of Israel, a ferocious warrior, destroyed by his love for a woman, Bathsheba. David's own love destroyed him. Jesus addressed the corruption of love in men, the intensity of masculine love. David and Israel failed, not on the battlefield, but from love corrupting the king, making everything that followed corrupted as well, destroying the nation. Middle class culture of business, institutions, science, rationalism, education, mind culture. The warrior defeated. The spiritual is feminized. Love is redefined as feminine. As women's identity changes from Eve to Lilith, the masculine is crippled. Men's goodness is reduced to being useful, being rational. Men need to take back the masculine truth of love, around which the feminine orients. Men are love. It needs to be respected. Men are rational, but emotionally vulnerable, as the woman reporter at the Men's Rights Convention showed. Unconditional love demands respect. Women have not noticed. Men don't fight anymore. Men just leave. If you abuse men's love, cross your fingers.